that's good.
I don't know what that means, but sure. And we're live. All right.
Yay.
Cool.
Hey.
Yay.
It's a 4 people Discord podcast again, because we're self-isolating still, and probably will be for a while.
Well,
Probably.
likely.
It's fine by me, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah.
I'd rather it be this way than any other way.
Yep. I'm still working a lot, but
Yeah.
that's me.
Yeah.
I've just had my hours cut back because the paper's still dumb enough to be trying to run with barely any flyers going in it. And
To be fair, I think the paper is one of those things in town where if they don't run for whatever reason, they're done. You know what I mean? It's like the GameStop all over again. Whereas if they don't run, they don't exist.
Yeah.
oh, I completely agree.
So they kind of have to. Yeah.
Sure. Makes sense. Unless, of course, they're somehow able to get that, like, the government aid stuff for, like, small/medium businesses.
They don't count as a small/whatever. Sadly, that only applies to large convenience stores or shopping malls or something like that, but not
Yeah, I haven't
newspapers.
looked.
Newspapers are
any
their
of it up.
own subpar of whatever it's called, the bill.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't spent any time looking any of it up, so I have zero idea.
I ordered new headphones. They're supposed to get here next week.
Nice.
I basically just been working all week. That's all I've been doing. I have like one thing
Yeah.
homework, and that's my week right there. Is that?
Hmm.
That's all I get to do this week. It's my last thing of homework, and then that's it. Study for an exam on the 20th.
I still got like 3 more classes.
Yeah.
Then I have my finals.
Fun. I
Well-
have one exam, and it's on the 20th, and it's 3 hours online.
Yeah.
I have no idea how to do any of it, but yeah.
Yeah.
I feel very
We'll figure it out.
disconnected from my online courses.
I
I
can bet.
It's
hate
like
online.
this week's assignment was a paragraph, and they're not like I had to write a paragraph. He explained how to do it in a paragraph, and I felt like, well, I mean, why the fuck do we have an hour and a half class every day if you can summarize your project for the week in one paragraph? I don't. What? I don't
Yeah.
understand. Where's the lecture? How am I supposed to learn?
Mm-hmm.
So it's great.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm going back next year, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of the Rockies.
Depends on how they. If it's this stuff still going on, I'm not going back. But
Well, it's just I've been kind of dicked around, not on purpose, by the college for like maybe 2 years now. Like every time I sign up for a new class, there's always something they don't tell me about that they just decide to fling on me last minute, like the day before, and I'm like, really, like you could have at least sent out an email a week before, and I know what it is. It's because I'm a Zipple with a Z. I'm on the bottom of everybody's attendance list. Therefore, they always get to my stuff last. So, yeah.
yeah. Yeah. No, they have some issues.
Yeah. I know.
That's why I
I
just
figured that out when I
talk.
signed up for Math 111 last semester, and the day before payment was due, sent me an email saying that I wasn't qualified for it and I had to take an upgrade class. I'm like, what the fuck? And then, so I sign up for the class, right? So I sign up for pre-calc, and I pay for it. And then they email me a day before classes start, so 2 weeks later, and it's like, you're not eligible for pre-calc 12. And it's like, what the fuck? Why didn't you tell me this when I showed up to swap classes? Shouldn't it be right there on your computer to be like, hey, he doesn't have a certain grade in a certain thing? What?
I don't think they, at least at the front, I don't think they have all that stuff.
You
That's
couldn't-
why I go to the counselors.
But they waited a week is my thing, right? And I've already paid for it. So it's like, so how do I get in the class? So like, well, you talk to the instructor, right? And I went down to the instructor and was like, I'm not eligible to get in this class. And she looked at my she pulled it up in 5 minutes. She pulled up my transcript and looked at it, and she's like, "Oh no, you're eligible. You can be in this class." And I was like, "Well, what the fuck? What?"
Yeah.
And she fucking went up to the front desk and told him I was eligible. I'm like, "Really?" It was somebody else's job to ensure that I was eligible, and then the teacher, the person whose job it isn't, found out that I was eligible. I don't understand. It seems like such a stupid process.
Yeah, that's
It's
why I
good.
always just go to the counselors first. I don't
Yeah,
really
I
trust
also
the
tried
front
that,
as
and then
much.
he told me a bunch of other things that ended up not helping me at all.
Hmm.
He said I was eligible for some classes, and then when I talked to the front desk, they said I wasn't, and then when I talked to the instructors, they say I was or wasn't,
Yeah.
and I was like, you know what, this is just stupid. I shouldn't have to talk to 4 people to figure out if I can enter one math upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't think I'm going back to that one.
Makes sense.
I think it's just stupid.
So how's everyone's Easter weekend going?
Good. I'm working.
Fine by me.
I worked today.
Fairly
I worked
good.
yesterday. I wouldn't be surprised if they call me in tomorrow for my 9th day in a row.
Oh yeah.
Yep. 9th day in a
Me
row,
either.
and I still don't have keys to lock the door or a sign-in for the computer, so I don't... yeah, anyway.
Hmm.
Either you trust me or don't. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense.
I think at that point, that's a very clearly don't. You're just a good worker. You just don't trust.
I don't know, I've never stolen anything. In
Yeah.
my life. Yeah. Weird.
I can't say that.
At least I don't think I have intentionally. Oh well.
Middle school days.
I don't remember.
Because all I've been doing this weekend has been playing the Final Fantasy VII remake,
Nice.
and it is amazing. Even with some of the story they've changed or added to kind of make it a better story, less less campy story.
Hey man.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good out of it.
Camping might be
Oh,
a
yeah, I
good
would-
thing though.
If you like action RPGs, I would recommend it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm playing it on normal, and I've died to just normal enemies.
Jeez.
It somehow was dying repeatedly to the Hell House. Because that's
really?
Because now that's a boss.
Jesus.
Nice.
That's weird.
Oh,
I kind of like that change though.
I had to do a rhythm game in it.
Oh, what? Really? What? How? What? When?
You know when you do the honeybee sections.
Yeah.
'Cause that's now when you get transformed to look like a girl,
Uh-huh.
or Claggis to look like a girl,
Yeah.
and it was just the stupidest thing because it's just like you had this big guy who doesn't really show a lot of emotions, force him on stage and dance.
Oh, joy. I'd have to look that up after.
Oh, you would. It is like the best thing ever.
That sounds awesome.
Nice.
Oh no, it's already up there. It's actually kind of amazing.
Oh no, there was stuff like the day beforehand from a lot of like review codes.
Oh yeah,
Good old review
That-
codes.
there's that, and in Europe and Australia they sent it out like 2 weeks, a week or two earlier than they would for the US, or than they would normally, so it would get to people.
Oh, I see.
So it was a riot. So they had it like almost like a week or almost a week and a half actually early.
Yeah.
I'm still questioning why the game's 2 discs if you buy it physical, right? You know, unless they have like a 4K. Because it's download, it's only 80 gigabytes.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Blu-ray can't store that much.
I don't know. Maybe it was the sort of a thing where they just felt like it would work better that way.
They could probably just store a data and play.
Mm-hmm. Is it like, are they doing like what they were originally saying, where they're doing it like episodes?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
because
okay.
I'm on chapter like I think like 9 or 10, and that's if you've played Final Fantasy VII, it's around
Mhm.
the time where they drop the plate on Sector 7.
Oh, I see. That's wow, really. Hmm. That's a long time to go for just that.
I mean, I think it's because they were also probably planning and developing the other parts. Because uh, in this one, you know how people talk to Cloud and he'd have like these little headaches or reactions about
Episodes.
something. Yeah, in
Yeah.
these ones, it's kind of like the Mako poisoning kind of playing with his memories because he's forgetting and remembering. But at one point, you meet Aerith and she's walking away from him. Or no, when you meet Aerith, he sees what happens to her after she points and tells him about the white materia in her hair.
Oh,
And
I see.
you see flashes of what happens to her.
Oh.
And then you see like him, and then there's a point where she walks away and you see her kind of walking through the ancient forest.
Okay. So they're just
It's,
putting a lot more emphasis on the things as opposed to what they did beforehand.
and they're showing a lot more of like the sections of like Sephiroth or Genova that are just wandering around with
Mm-hmm.
numbers on them.
Oh, okay.
So I think they're trying to like emphasize like Sephiroth's alive and he's kind of futzing around with whatever, or he Cloud's under the influence of Genova or Geneva or whatever, however
Yeah.
they're gonna say it.
Oh, they've then. Oh, okay. They haven't even talked about
Well, no, because
Nova yet. Oh,
you
I
don't
thought
really
it was
see her.
Nova.
I'm saying it's Genova, but you don't really see her. Probably don't see her until you go into the Shinra offices,
Hmm.
which is really weird because I'm only like level like 12, I think almost 20 or so, and I'm
Jeez.
really far. And I was like, okay, I expect this game to be more, so maybe there's a lot more left I just don't know of.
Oh yeah. Well, probably because I think you said like what 60 hours was their goal.
That's what I was seeing, but from what people are saying, it's like it's more if you're trying to like get all the trophies or achievements, but apparently it's like 30, 40 hour game, which can believe.
Okay. So probably then like speedrunners will break that down to about 3 hours in a little while.
I don't think you can really speed run this at the moment because it's a very kind of linear game.
Ah, they'll find a way. It always, whether it's at least just going through it faster or not.
Just had to sneeze.
Yeah.
Hmm. Well, I'll be very interested to see some of the people I know who play it, how they like it.
Oh, yeah. I'm enjoying it. Probably
Mm.
gonna go back right after I finish it to play through hard.
Mm. Just to see if you can,
Mm-hmm.
or how much more hard is.
How hard is, and because I plan on getting the platinum and trophy in it.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
So
what.
is each episode its own sort of thing?
I know this one they said Midgar only. I'm gonna assume the second part might be up until like Aerith's death,
Okay.
and then the third part would be the Aerith's death to probably going into the crater.
Mm. Okay. Yeah,
I
that's
like,
good.
but that's me assuming that first part disc is the first part's Midgar, the second part maybe up to Gold Saucer. I don't think that's really a lot of stuff, so it's really weird how they're gonna do the parts.
Then, well, they also might just add more to it.
Well, that too, but I'm also thinking they also have to change up the gameplay style, where you're gonna
Mm.
miss out a lot of like the free roaming overworld kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm assuming part 2 and 3 may have a lot more open world stuff to it.
Mm-hmm.
Or
'Cause I'm assuming this one hasn't had a lot.
it's more like a linear. Here's your area you can run in. Oh, you reach a certain chapter where you got side quests. Go run around in this area.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So,
Hmm.
but
Well,
other than that,
I'll think about picking it up. I'll find a way.
wait, you'll probably wait until game stores open and get it physical.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Either that or I'm gonna wait until the whole thing comes out, and
Well,
then
I
maybe
think
they'll
anyway.
have like an ultimate edition sort of thing,
I
and then
know
I can just like try to do that.
next year it hits PC and other
Okay,
systems.
and maybe I'll wait for that as well then, depending. All right, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's because though I think one weird thing is that they have you first time you meet Aerith, she's being surrounded by ghosts or invisible wisps,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have some scenes where they come back and are doing other things. So I'm thinking those are supposed to be the spirits of the world that only ancients can see.
Oh, I see. Mm. Hmm.
Yeah. And
Cool. Well, thanks
yeah.
for all the spoilers. Without the
It's
warning.
actually not a.
It
It's not a
sounds
lot
like
of
a
them,
lot of spoilers for a guy who doesn't play the game.
but it's also based off a 20-year-old game.
I mean, that's true.
Yup.
It's a remake. Yeah. I guess that was pretty cool. Thanks for sharing. We found out that we have delayed the Black Widow movie probably until October. They're thinking
That
December.
doesn't really surprise me.
Kind of surprises me that they're gonna push a movie that far back already.
Well, I mean, they did it with James Bond because
But it's
Bond was
done.
supposed to come.
That's the Black Widow's done though. That's what I don't understand. It's
Well, it's the
done.
same thing with James Bond was supposed to come out. I think the beginning of the month,
Yeah.
and now it's pushed back to I think September, November.
Yeah. It's just weird because they still stuck with Onward, right? They still released that, but they didn't release Black Widow, which was only a couple more. What it's only a month away, but
Yeah.
it was so weird that they pushed for Onward, but not Black Widow to stay. It's kind of funny.
'Cause I think it was before all like the major shit happened with
Yeah.
Onward. And I think
Disney's
that's why
also
they.
not doing so well.
I think that's also why they just threw it right up onto their Disney Plus, and it's the same with I think Trolls World Tour. They kind of are just pushing it straight to to the Disney Plus.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that was supposed to be an in theater movie.
I can kind of understand why they pushed it back because technically we're not allowed to have more than also amount of people in close contact.
Yeah.
So,
And the
Yeah.
last thing you want is a bunch of nerds sitting
all of the
around.
fans just swarming a certain area.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to be fair, people get into fights and shoot each other at Marvel releases, so I mean, it happens. So.
Yeah, so that doesn't surprise me.
You remember when Black Panther came out? Oof. There was some there was some fuck shit that happened for that release. Did you read about that?
No,
Fights,
I didn't even.
racial debates. Somebody got
No,
shot over the release date of a movie.
Oh my god.
It was crazy, man. For one movie.
Jesus, that's
Yeah.
a bit of a
Yeah.
too much situation.
Right? But it's like, seriously, guys? It's just Black Panther. It was an alright movie.
I liked it.
It's not on my top 10 Marvel lists, but
No.
it's definitely top 15 for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I just never liked him in the comic books either. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just a fun movie.
He's always been the background Avenger too. he just kind of was there sometimes, and sometimes he wasn't.
Holy
He was only there for Captain America. Let's be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, let's just say all of our top 1 and 2 movies should be Infinity War and
No.
Endgame.
No,
Interchangeable.
no, it's not.
I like
Endgame.
That's not good.
Surprisingly, Endgame is only 9 for me, and Infinity War is only 3. It's I liked
That
them,
doesn't surprise me.
but the thing about Endgame is they gave us too much time to think about it, and I predicted everything that was gonna happen. I may not have known, some of the surprises, but I told Brandon, I was like, they're gonna time travel because they have to, and he's like, you don't know that. I'm like, no, they do, and they're also gonna fight Thanos in like the first 30 minutes again, and he's like, you don't know that. And I'm like, but I do, because it's fucking storytelling. It's how I would run it as a D&D campaign. You would have to go to. It would be more logical for the characters to assume that they're still looking for Thanos than to instantly leap to time travel. It's not going to work that way. There has to be a time period where they kind of just sit around and think about it. I didn't expect it to be 5 years, but I knew there'd be a time period.
Yeah, that was one of the things that really drowned that movie for me was that first opening bit.
Yeah, where they kill them. Them going back and fighting Thanos made sense, right? It made perfect
Well, I
sense
mean more
to me.
I mean more them just sitting wallowing. I understand they have to set up the situation and the
It's
environment and
character
stuff
building,
like that.
yeah.
Like
But it was also
I don't need
just
to have a 20-minute conversation of Black Widow sitting in an office sad and eating a grilled cheese sandwich.
It was peanut butter.
Whatever it was.
I think it was more just they didn't know how to, because they didn't have control of how Ant-Man and the Wasp ended. They also had to have a way to get him to still be
So
alive
they
to
have
do
somewhat
time
of a
travel.
control because the script is written before they film, right? And they filmed Endgame before any of these other movies finished. So it was kind of like one of those things where they had to do certain things in a certain way, and didn't have to. Like if you noticed, Captain Marvel got a new haircut, but it wasn't new; it was old, and they changed it up for filming of Captain Marvel because they filmed all of her scenes before she did Captain Marvel. Because the movie was supposed to come out after Endgame. We were supposed to. The first time we were supposed to see Captain Marvel is when she flies into the battlefield and blows up the ship. That was supposed to be her introductory moment. And I was like, see, that's way cooler than her walking into the Avengers base and asking where Nick Fury is. I would have cared a little more than that. But then they made the movie, and it was okay. And then we had the tour with Brie Larson, and it kind of ruined it. And then they just went ahead and showed her off a little bit, and I was like, yeah, no, we're good. I'm done.
Yeah.
I don't like it anymore.
I don't know, I never, even though like comic books, I never really liked Captain Marvel.
Yeah, no, I know.
Or anything like that, so I was like, eh.
Yep. I don't know how they're going to do Civil War 2, so,
If they even are.
they couldn't. They'd have to rewrite the entire Inhumans TV show. And they'd also have to make an Inhumans movie.
So
I'd like to
wasn't
see that.
also Iron Man a big part of
Yeah.
Civil War 2?
Yep.
And
Yep.
Captain Marvel.
Yep.
Because wasn't that a big thing? Because Spider-Man was more in between in that one, if I remember.
Yep.
Or someone told
Civil
me.
War, the first Civil War, Spider-Man jumped back and forth between Captain America and Tony Stark, but he ended up on Captain America's side because Frank Castle saved his life. Don't ask me why, I can't remember, but I think it's because Spider-Man saved Frank Castle's life at one point in time, and Frank Castle was on Iron Man's side, and then after, throughout the battle, Frank Castle's like, man, fuck you, Iron Man. And then went over to Captain America's side, and he saved Spider-Man's life. Or something like that. There's a scene where he carries an almost dead Spider-Man into a hospital. But yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens next. I don't know what they plan on doing next because all the TV shows are getting delayed too. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything's getting delayed.
Well, they kind of almost have to because of all of this.
Oh yeah, because Final Fantasy 14 just did a release date or a release about, hey, I know we just released this, but that was more done before all this coronavirus stuff happened.
Yep.
Oh,
So our patch release schedule might be longer
Later.
than normal.
yeah.
It's why I don't understand all of the YouTubers I watch for World of Warcraft is like, where's Shadowlands? It's been 3 weeks. I'm like, guys, their entire production crew is at home. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
They can't run an alpha right now. They're not ready.
Yeah. Good
Come on.
luck trying to communicate with everyone
Is
at
World
once.
is
when
World
you're
of
at home.
Warcraft just gonna use Zoom now? Are they just gonna have their staff
Oh my
meetings
God.
on Zoom? A super unsafe group teaching tutorial? I've seen videos on it, man. It's not a very good. It's not a very good piece of equipment. My favorite one.
Microsoft Teams.
My favorite video ever is when an Australian comedian interrupted an American Air Force meeting by joining out of nowhere and just started fucking asking questions.
Oh my God.
It's the funniest shit you'll ever see in your life, and the instructor wasn't having it. Oh my god. She was not putting up with that. She was like, how do I get rid of this guy? And he just kept asking questions.
That's awesome. I'll have to look that up too after.
That is the best.
Zoom is not a good idea. Don't use Zoom. Don't use Skype either.
Yeah.
Well, Skype's just horrible as is.
Yeah.
Yup.
And now Zoom has all these backgrounds for our fucking their meeting, and there's a ton of companies making the backgrounds for it, and it's like, no.
I'm good, thanks.
Yeah.
It was hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Also, people are no longer buying toilet paper. We've moved on
En
to
masse.
we've moved on to a new type of panic buying, and you won't believe
What's that?
Well, you won't believe what we're buying. Everybody gets a guess. Guess what we're panic buying? Because you won't guess.
Medicine?
Peas?
No,
Peas?
no.
I would say any sort of sanitizing
Nope.
sanitizing equipment.
No.
Socks.
No.
Oh.
Hair dye. People are mass buying hair dye. I don't know what
Why?
it is. I don't know.
It would make sense if they've had their hair dyed or they want their hair to stay the way it is, because I have blue hair and luckily I have a shampoo that has the dye in it, so I don't have to worry about my hair going from the blue to a dull green to a sickly yellow color.
Gross.
It
Yeah.
keeps the...
Hey, I went through that in elementary school. Michael was there. We dyed my hair blue with Kool-Aid, but we had to bleach it first, and then for like half a year, I walked around with this bleached hair because we used a way stronger bleach than we did dye, and it was really fucking gross. And my mom hated it, but she couldn't cut it because even if she did cut it, it would still be there. That's how strong the bleach was. So she was like, "Fuck, I have to grow it out and cut it all off at once."
Jesus.
Fuck. And the school hated it too. They were like, "Why the fuck did you do that?" And she's like, "I don't know.
He wanted to dye his hair, so
I didn't want to. It was my mom's idea. She thought it would be cool. And it was cool.
Oh.
Until it went into like a sick poop green. And just like fucking then turned into like the brightest of white. I was blonde for a year, man. It's not funny.
Hey, blonde
Jesus.
Brody.
The,
Oh my
the
god.
blue lasted 2 days. It was 2 days. That's
Wow.
how bad the blue dye was. But the bleach was like actual bleach. It was, yeah,
Mhm.
it
Yeah.
wasn't good, no.
I would almost say I'd like to see a picture, but I don't.
No, I have some on Facebook. Next time it shows up in my memories, I'll show you.
Okay.
Man, that'd be quite the sight to see.
I just...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at that.
It was horrible. I will attest to it.
It was absolutely worthless.
And
Anyway.
so yeah, I had the weirdest thing happen. Well, first things first, my dad a few months ago had a experience where it woke both him and my mom up.
Was this a ghost
They
story?
were sleeping. Yeah.
Alright.
They were sleeping and they both woke up. They couldn't figure out what woke them up. something was touching their feet, and then my mom went back to bed because she's just the kind of person that just brushes everything off and just goes back to bed. But my dad was saying that he had felt like the bed dip as if someone had sat down on it next to him.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had completely forgotten about it until last night when I had nearly the exact same thing happen to me.
Foot demons. I love it.
Foot
Except
goblins.
it wasn't my foot. It was my face.
Even worse, face demons.
Face
Ooh.
Something
goblins.
touched my face, and then I saw my bed.
That's
dip
darker than
next to
that's
me.
way darker than you think, Justin.
Oh, I know. I know of like
Paralysis demon.
No,
sleep
that's
paralysis
different.
demons.
That's different.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I know it is.
Sorry, continue your story.
But yeah, I just watched, like, I sleep on the side of my bed closest to the wall
Where you should sleep.
because that's where the heater is.
Yeah.
And so I was facing away from the wall, and so I felt whatever it was just touch my face, and then I watched the bed dip next to me, and in my head I was like, no, 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 no,
You
no.
immediately stood up and pulled out your Bible, right?
No, I don't know where my Bible is.
You know, it's always beside your bed. Always.
No, not with me.
No, it should be now. Just saying.
Oh.
It should be
Oh.
on your pillow beside you. You have to stand up, tell whatever's sitting on your bed that they're not welcome, and then they can go fuck themselves with ectoplasm, and then you go back to bed. You have to assert your dominance against any form of home intruder. Real life, aliens, ghosts, demons. It doesn't matter. You have to be assertive. You have to stand your ground.
It with T-posing.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Fucking
The power of Christ
pose on that ghost. Fuck.
Start taking selfies. Just whip out a phone. Take some selfies. with your paralysis demons.
Take some pictures.
Yeah.
Oh man.
We're
Yeah,
awful.
no. I had completely forgotten about my dad's story until that happened, and I was like, oh no, no.
We're just the bestest of peoples, aren't we? Making fun of this shit.
Well, sometimes that's the best way to
Oh, of course, comedy.
react to it.
We've all
make
had
fun of it.
paranormal encounters. I used to live next to a burnt down hospital. And my mom was
Which
making
is now an apartment complex.
Yeah. What?
Yeah.
Are you...
The Tudor house? It's an apartment complex now.
Yes. It's been an apartment complex for a while.
Oh, yeah, I know, that's what I mean, though. Like, it's been that for a couple of years, or
Right.
a year at least.
I lived in the house across the street, which is now a storage thing. Anyway, we lived there, and my mom was making a sandwich, and I was in the other room watching, I think at the time, because of my age, I think I was watching Markiplier, and fucking this peanut butter jar flew off the counter, and my mom was convinced it was a ghost, and I was sitting there like, nah, you knocked it off, 100%, because I didn't see the whole thing, right? So I was like, no, you knocked it off. Don't fuck with me, Mom. She's like, no, I'm serious, Brody. This peanut butter jar flew across the room. I'm like, then tell it to get out. Just fucking grab some sage, light it up, and tell it just to fuck off. Just tell it to just straight up fuck right off.
No, your mom.
She
had
called my
something
bluff. She
probably
totally
do.
did it. No, she totally did it.
Oh my god.
She totally called my bluff and did it.
That's awesome.
That is your mom.
Yeah.
That's totally what it
She's
sounds
a Buddhist. If you
Oh.
don't think she has sage lying around, you're sadly mistaken. She had sage just lying around the house.
like. That's funny.
Best parts. I know your mom, and that is something she would do.
Yeah, it is. We are 2 months away from the Pokemon DLC.
Oh yeah.
It's still gonna come out all the time.
Yeah, that. I mean, I'm pretty sure. I would hope that they would have said something if it was already delayed, but
But they also did a small direct on it, didn't they?
Yeah,
Or
they
was that the
did
mini direct and they did a little spit on it?
the mini direct, and they did talk about it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right. They talked about the two different forms.
So it's coming
Yeah.
out at the same time. Also, I don't think Japan is really giving a fuck about this whole coronavirus thing. I don't.
Well, I
No.
think they're very on their incline back from all the debt. They've like steadied out from what
I know
some
China's
people have
done.
told me.
Like they've already cured it. They've closed their hospital. Their emergency hospitals down. I think
And
they're
they're
done.
just basically on the super incline now.
Yep.
They've even destroyed where it started from where the person bought the rat.
I'm loving watching everything about the news about Trump and how he's handling this situation. I know I don't usually shit
You
on
mean
America.
not?
I don't usually shit on American politics because it's not my place. But fuck me, some of the funniest shit I've ever seen has come out of this this last month. My favorite is still the part where he's on stage in front of everybody, and he openly admits that the American economy is not built for people to take a day off. I'm like, you know what? That's pretty ballsy of you to stand up in front of thousands of Americans and go, "We can't take a day off, guys. It's not possible. We aren't prepared economically for everybody to take time off." I'm like, "Oh, that's great. You were prepared for war. You know that means you at least have 2 days of downtime, right? What happens if
Yeah.
one of your major infrastructures gets hits with the tactical missile? Are you ready to prepare for that? Or is everybody just supposed to work through it like it never happened?" What? What? It's everybody knows your country isn't in debt, but you shouldn't admit it. You know?
Yeah.
I know Canada's in debt. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know
Yes.
where we're getting this $2 million from that we're just handing out to people who are on low income or unemployment.
It's like,
I don't know.
Mm.
I don't
we'll
know.
pay it back eventually.
I know we will, and I don't know where we're getting it because we're currently
I don't
not
know.
paying off our other debts either.
Yeah.
So, what
The
are you gonna
pits
do?
of some dark alleyway somewhere.
Sure. We'll just print it. We're just printing our own money at this point.
It's all that back end drug deals and warmongering.
Yeah.
It's definitely not from the pipeline. I'll tell you that much. I mean, it could be. It could have been, but it's not. So, what are you gonna do about it?
What we're gonna do about sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
That's kind of Canada's policy is to just fucking shrug it off. I mean, that's what we've been doing for years, right?
Yep.
These stupid. I hate South Park's Facebook so much. They have these polls going on, right? And they're like, choose your favorite character, and it's not even balanced. They put crab people against some asshole named Bradley. I don't know who the fuck Bradley is in the show. That's not a fair vote. It's not a fair poll. It'd be like comparing a full cheeseburger meal to a bowl of oatmeal. Come on, at least make it something tangible or something. Put
Brown sugar oatmeal.
No, gross. It's still not better. Anyway, I just think it's funny that Facebook polls, and it's not the first time somebody's done this with Facebook polls. I saw comic books do the same thing where they're like, look, it's Spider-Man, and then this one guy from this one side comic book fucking 6 years ago that nobody remembers, and it's like, really?
Oh.
Who the fuck would vote for that? And look, their next one is actually balanced. It's Officer Brady, who is the dumb police officer Lemmiwinks. That's way more balanced. I know who both these characters are. Come on now. Fucking comparing shit like that.
Brady.
I haven't seen him in a few seasons.
I don't even. Is he even still around? Like, did they kill him off or something?
No, he's still alive. For sure. I just don't know where he is.
That's a good question.
I feel like they just kind of left the police in the background.
Well, I mean, how many episodes was he like? Actually, I mean, he was in quite a bit actually.
In the first few seasons, he was like one of the main. He was more popular than Randy at the time.
Well, yeah, original Randy was sort of.
Original Randy was still the best.
Mhm.
It was when he started getting more screen time. For me, it was the episode where he purposely gave himself cancer. I was like, nah, we're done.
Yeah.
It's no longer funny, Randy. It's just stupid.
Yeah.
Right? Like the episode before that was when they were getting attacked by a giant gerbil.
I'll give you a little bit of cancer.
Oh my god, the gerbil episode.
And he looks at
Oh
the
my
camera and he
fucking
goes,
God.
"I'm so startled." I'm like, it was the peak Randy moment.
Yeah.
That and just
That was
having
a
an
really good
absolute
episode.
orgasm over computer pornography inside of a base because there was a pandemic. It was fucking hilarious. It was he couldn't jack off anymore, and that was a problem because they were all in like tight spaces.
Oh.
I was like, see, that's peak Randy right there. That and the shitting contest. But now, like,
Jesus Christ, this is one thing I did not need to be freaking reminded of.
but now,
Oh.
we have to watch him grow a pop farm, and it's like, oh, okay,
Yeah, I know, and like argue with Towley.
Integrity.
yeah, integrity farms.
Integrity Farms.
Because I ain't gonna have no pussy ass on. That's vaping.
I hate it. Oh well.
I don't watch it very often, so.
His first appearance was in Cartman Gets an Anal Probe.
That was really early on.
Yeah, no, it was
It
because
was like
it was
second or third episode?
yeah, it was the episode. It was the second or third episode when he got anal probed, and that's why in the video game he's the guy who helps you off the ship because that's where he started, right? It wasn't just for comedic relief where he's like,
okay.
sometimes you have to do it. That's where he was first introduced, was on the alien ship. I knew this when the
Okay.
game was out. I was like, yeah, it's Randy.
I
even
thought they
said
just
that
put
when I
him in
played
there
the game.
because it's Randy.
No, see, that's what everybody thought. But when I was playing the game and I was on the alien spaceship, I'm like, I hope I get to see Randy because fuck, that's gonna be hilarious.
Okay, apparently his last episode was banned in China.
Because he was
Who?
banned in China. South Park got banned in China.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it took them this long to ban South Park, so. I mean,
I think they recently
all
just
things.
banned something else too.
it's China.
Oh, Animal Crossing.
What? Why?
Because people were using it as propaganda.
Oh.
Dude, it's China. They assume everything's a propaganda. They're the Alex Jones of the fucking world.
Oh my god.
They assume Facebook is spying on everybody, and it is. But,
I mean, honestly, that's actually correct.
yeah.
They are. They're selling your
People are
data.
all-
They have confirmed it. It has been multiple court cases about it.
But then they
It's not like
create their,
people are
but
also-
it's not the fact that they're like, oh, Facebook is spying on people. It's the fact that like Facebook is spying on people. So here's our government app that also spies on people, right? It's like what?
Yeah.
But you're doing the same thing. What? What? That's great.
I guess the difference is it's going directly to them as opposed to some American.
Sure, but couldn't you just buy that American company and then fucking have it there? Like, wouldn't that
Fucking fine.
tactically make more sense than just running your own app?
Oh, of course.
Because then you're not just spying on your own people, you're spying on everybody else too. I don't know. I don't think China thinks anything through properly some days. I mean, they came from a great place. They're 100 years ahead of us in technology and probably still are. But you guys are kind of shit in the bed for the past decade or so. So
Yup.
I don't know.
It's the reason why there's essentially like protests every like 2 weeks.
I had
Or a new protest every 2 weeks.
Yeah, I had a great conversation about why China was so far ahead. And this is something that my coworkers like, but if you think about it, in evolution, China was 100 years ahead of us in technology. How'd they figure that out? I'm like, well, it's simple. They were in war with 7 different parts of the world before we
Yup.
discovered it. Come on now. And they're like, what? He's like, what do you mean? It's like the Great Wall of China? Ring a bell, right? I mean, why did they build a wall?
Engineering is most effective during war times.
Yes, exactly.
Mm.
Which is why they're 100 years ahead of us in technology. Because they were
Makes sense.
at war.
Like constantly.
Yeah. And it wasn't just from one enemy. There were inner fights. Then there was the Mongolians. Then there was Korean. Whatever the current, like, back then Koreans were. I don't remember. Then there was the Japanese. And it was just like, you know what? Fuck all of this.
Yeah.
Fuck all of that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not it cheap.
The
Yeah.
possibility of death is the greatest motivator.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can agree.
Makes you pick up your pace and figure out what you need to do, how to do it, and get it done.
Or at least how to stop the other guy.
That too.
It's either figure out all the issues and do that, or kill the other guy.
Yeah.
That's it.
Whoa.
Hey, it's true. It's a war.
I mean, yeah, if you look back on history.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying, I think it's funny.
Yeah. This one. Oh, right. Yeah, no. Yeah. It's kind of sort of just a regular thing now, so.
Yeah, we're used to it.
Yep.
Oh well.
Yeah. Way more used to it than we probably should be.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what am I gonna do about it? Nothing.
You're supposed to fight F Justin and then jump out your window.
Okay, see you later.
See ya.
Into this weird
Snow.
freezing. It's more like freezing rain.
Yeah. It's actually not raining or snowing right now.
It's BC. What do you expect? Don't act.
They actually ran a
Plus,
Safeway,
weather.
and it was basically downpouring.
Yep. I woke up this morning and it was everything was covered in snow.
Yep.
Global warming or climate change. Sorry.
I don't. It's the same
That's
thing,
not
isn't
real.
it?
Well, no. It's apparently you're supposed to say climate change because it's like the climate is changing, but as opposed to global warming, which is like it's not warming up.
Listen, I don't give a fuck what it's called. Alright?
Yeah.
It sucks.
Mm-hmm.
End of discussion.
I mean, what else is? I mean, I don't know. I could probably try to figure something else out with it, but there's not much else we can talk about with it. I don't know nearly enough about it.
Have you guys seen at all the DuckTales, the remake, the 2017 remake?
Mm-mm.
Which
I've seen some,
ironically
watched
is
some of
called DuckTales 2017.
Nope.
It's fucking weird. Anyway, the point is they introduced Darkwing Duck last season, so season 2, end of season 1, start of season 2. And I don't know how I feel about it because I really like Darkwing Duck, but he's an actor who decided to fucking put on the costume because Darkwing Duck in that universe is a TV show, and then they decided that he would be a real superhero with Gizmo Duck fighting crime, and I was like, I kind of like it, but at the same time, I kind of don't.
Yeah,
Because
there's a scene.
there's a scene where they get invaded by aliens, and Darkwing Duck gets his ass completely handed to him, and then Scrooge McDuck puts on the costume. Like, the fuck is this? This isn't Darkwing Duck. What type of fuck? I don't like this at all.
Oh my gosh.
It was really bad. But now they have they have tailspin villains in there, like legit tailspin villains. Like they have the Cornage, whatever his name is, the dog. And then they fight, and I was like, it makes sense that you're putting all these universes together, but if Mighty Mouse shows up, I'm leaving. I'm just gonna say it out loud. If you get a Mighty Mouse or a Chip and Dale in there, I'm out. I don't know how I feel about this. Season 3 is Goofy in it, in a DuckTales episode. I don't know, man.
Really?
Yep. There's a scene where Goofy's in there with the DuckTales, and they release like a 2-minute clip, and like, feels kind of weird looking at Goofy in a DuckTales episode. They're gonna do. It's also weird because they're also gonna have a Quack Pack episode apparently, which involves the 3 ducks. I like that they're putting it all together instead of just making 400 different spin-offs. I'll say it out loud, but
I'd still like a Darkwing Duck spin-off.
But that's the thing too, right? Because then they showed off, and I don't know his name because I never cared about him in the Darkwing series. But they got the chicken with the giant metal beak on there, the spy or whatever his name is. He was in the trailer.
You liked for me. What was it? Sorry.
He's the big chicken guy with the giant metal beak. What was his name?
Oh,
Fuck, but he was in the trailer, and I'm like, really? We have Darkwing Duck villains now in the TV show? I don't know. I watched it's a good show. It's written well. I like the comedy. I'm not gonna lie. There's some comedy that makes me fall on the ground laughing. Like the clip I sent in Discord the other day, the one where they're in a dream sequence, and Huey decides that he wants like the dumbest looking cartoon legs. Like he's standing at like 15 feet tall with just really long, thin legs. And I'm like, yeah, it's pretty gross.
Yeah.
But it's funny. It's funny. It's just the way the characters handle it. It feels real for ducks.
Talking about Steelbeak, I think,
yes.
by the way.
And he's in the trailer, and I was like, what the fuck?
Oh.
All the villains are great, though. I'll give him that. You know, I like...
Oh, man. Quackerjack in it would be really
they
cool.
Put, they fucking... So they have
or Negaduck.
Gizmo Duck in there.
Negaduck.
And I knew that they were going to introduce it because I watched both Darkwing and Quack Pack and all that growing up. And when I saw the Beaks... Bisley Beaks or whatever his name is, enter an episode, I'm like, what the fuck? Are they introducing Gizmo Duck? What the fuck? I was so confused because he's the villain to Gizmo Duck from Darkwing Duck. I'm like, what the fuck is he doing in this show? Is this a reference? Is this an Easter egg? And then he was the focus of the TV show, like that episode. And I was like, what? I was so confused. I was like, what's going on? But no, we actually see a little more into Gizmo Duck's past. We see his mom. It's like best way to describe it, he's got like a mom who's a police officer. I don't ask me why. It's a fucking cartoon for kids. There's no continuity for it, but it's great. I like it. There's something about it that I'm just like, I respect this. But then we got to the Darkwing Duck episode, and he told us his backstory about why he liked Darkwing Duck, right? Because that's Drake Mallard's opinion. Because the actor who's playing the real Darkwing Duck is Drake Mallard, which is the way they wrote it. And so, but beforehand in the TV show where Drake Mallard was growing up, he's played by, I think it was Tom Hanks. Like, they actually had Tom Hanks voice the fucking character or something like that to the original Darkwing Duck. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? And now, Tom Hanks is playing Negaduck in the new season, apparently. I'm like, this is fucked. Man. Because he played the original Darkwing Duck, and now Drake Mallard, the new Darkwing Duck, has taken his identity. It makes no fucking sense. Yeah. And they're fighting aliens. What? What is happening right now? It's,
Children's continuity.
But somehow, it's still more enjoyable than half the TV shows I've watched that have come out in the past few years.
Yup. It sounds like it.
I don't know. It's they kind of break the fourth wall sometimes, which makes me happy because if we ever get a Freakazoid reference, you know he'd break the fourth wall too.
Oh man, that'd be amazing.
It's knowing it'd just be like a poster or something. It's gonna be hard breaking the fourth wall with Freakazoid. Not only that, it's also gonna be hard for him to be likable in 2020.
Yeah. Because
his superpower, unlike that stupid fucking new Marvel superhero, whatever his name is, Internet Gas or some bullshit like that.
What?
Yeah, so there's a new Marvel superhero that came out with Snowflake and Save. We talked about this.
Yeah.
And he was exposed to his uncle's experimental internet gas. What? I don't know.
Showtime.
Yeah. I fuck him. Anyway, the point is Freakazoid got his superpowers from the internet because he got shocked by a keyboard and he entered the mainframe briefly, and then it was great. He formed.
And then it like fried his brain.
Yeah, and made
all of the internet went into his brain, and he went fucking batshit insane.
Yeah, and he created an alternate ego, and it actually makes way more sense than internet gas. But the problem is having the ability to surf the internet in 2020 is not. You would get some cringe jokes for sure. There would be a
cat porn. Social media crap.
Do you remember the Teenage Ninja Mutant, whatever the fuck it is, the Michael Bay movie, the TMNT Michael Bay movie, and they had the cat playing the piano and the chopsticks. I was like, oh
yeah,
it was funny, but I didn't want to see it in my TMNT movie. Dun, 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 dun. And I feel like with Freakazoid having the superpowers of the internet, there would be some fuck shit. There would be a Fortnite dance for sure. You can't, because that's just, it's for kids, right? And kids like Fortnite, therefore, there'd be Fortnite reference to Freakazoid. And there'd be way more than that. There'd be Minecraft. There'd be so much more bullshit. There would be a YouTube reference. He would probably name YouTubers by name. It'd be shit. It'd be fucking shit. But back then, the funny thing for him was he would take on personalities from TV show, right? He'd be
Yes.
fucking talk show hosts or whatever. Now you have all this other stuff that he can do too, right? So it doesn't make any sense to me. But the point is I've been watching the DuckTales theme show, and they've been bringing all of the TV shows that involve animal superheroes or something like that. They've had an episode, and I'm like, I like it. Don't get me wrong, I like it. But what the fuck is going on?
Yeah. Like, honestly, I don't know. I'd love to see a lot of this stuff return, but at the same time, I would definitely
I kind of like like you can have Quack Pack in a DuckTales episode. That's fine with me. You don't need to remake an entire show of Quack Pack just because you decided to fucking have DuckTales be successful, right? It's the same with Darkwing Duck. I got no problem having Darkwing Duck in the show, but he definitely could have used his own spinoff, especially because you have Gizmo Duck now, right? And I feel like that's what they're building up towards, and they're gonna perfect it in this season. But I don't know. It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of weird.
The Nerdinator. Fuck.
Yeah.
I forgot. Oh.
Yeah. My favorite episode involving Darkwing Duck so far has been the one where he shows Mrs. Beakley, who's like essentially a giant spy who lives in the mansion and like takes care of the kids or whatever.
Oh, she's a spy now?
Yeah, she is.
Okay.
Her name's Agent 22. I don't even get me started, but fucking she watched Darkwing Duck with Launchpad because surprise, Launchpad is the biggest fan ever of Darkwing Duck, and he fucking watched it with her, and she was so into it, and they actually got to the episode where it ended, like the cutoff, whatever it was, the big reveal or whatever it is, and she was like, "Oh my god, we need to watch the next episode, put it in." And Launchpad's like, "We can't, it was canceled." And she was like, "Oh no!" She like stood up and kicked the TV. I was like, yeah, that's basically how everybody felt. Like,
yeah.
Fucking...
Yeah, it only went a year.
Yeah.
Darkwing Duck only went 1 year.
Too Bad 2 is a good show.
It was so good.
Yeah. Anyway, I just think it's great that we have, like, even when they had the one Tailspin villain in it, I thought they were going to actually have the Tailspin characters, like the two bears, the main bears show up. I would have been like, oh my fucking... But they didn't. They just kept the villain. I'm like, this is... I actually liked it. I was like, this is nice. I get to see a pretty and intelligent villain come back. And it's... You know what? I don't hate it. I don't hate it.
Yeah, I never watched a lot of Tailspin. I remember seeing a couple episodes, but like that was it.
Sadly, it's always on my brain because I sell. It's a name of beer. Tailspin is a brand of beer in my store, and it sells a lot. It's like a gin cooler.
Oh. Okay.
Excuse me. So, but yeah, that's my life. That's how
Such
it works.
is life.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't think. So I have a dinner tomorrow, so I won't be streaming tomorrow night as always, like I usually do. So. Oh well.
It's the same with my family's doing dinner.
Yeah, it's
tomorrow.
Easter. It's Easter
I don't
Sunday,
know what's
Monday.
going on
So
tomorrow for me.
I figured.
God, not working on Thursdays, throwing me out of whack.
Yeah, I know.
But honestly, you guys didn't ask when are we doing this. I wouldn't have even believed it was Saturday.
Yeah. But it's been an hour, so we're okay to.
Yeah, time flies.
Yeah. So we're good to end it.
All right.
All right.
I'll see you guys later.
See you later.
See you later.
See ya.
Thanks for watching.